episode 2. We're going to be doing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. As you heard Kate mention, several of us are going to be using a program called Hero Lab. It's a character creator. This is not a sponsored episode, though. If you guys want to send me money, I am totally okay with that. But just credit where credit's due, that it's a good program that I enjoy. My name is Robert, and if everyone else would like to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Richard. Kate. No. Should do this in order. I'm Richard.
I'm Kate.
I'm Beth.
Yourself.
Hey.
All right. So, 5th edition is pretty straightforward. We mentioned this. We discussed this a little bit off air. So some of us are going to be. I'm going to be doing the standard attribute selection method, which is where's there? There it is.
Standard array,
which is 46. Drop the lowest 6 times and distribute them as you will. Rich, did you want to do the point or the array or the point by? Which of it? I forget which is the other optional one.
I'll do the standard array. Point by.
Okay, that's cool.
Thing.
Okay, well, if you're going to do a standard array, then why don't I do the point by?
That sounds good.
So we have everything represented.
All right, that's a nice spread. All right. What are you downloading? Oh, you haven't updated your Hero Lab in a while? Poor Joshua.
Yeah, that's why I was late.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
So, I log into mine just every few weeks, and just routinely at this point. It's just sort of a system I have now. So I don't even have to think about it half the time.
I'm showing. No, there's Josh's. Where's my eraser? There we go.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could start up with one of the other ones as we wait for Josh.
Yeah. I've got my stats. Well, I guess going by the program is might be a little easier. I know not everyone's using it, but the first thing it tells you to do is choose your race, and this is a little different than in some people who might be used to much older editions where the very first thing you did was roll up your stats.
Mm-hmm.
But because later editions of it have become so much more flexible in building the character. I mean, some of us here remember first edition where it was roll 3d6 straight down the line and take them whether you like them or not, which did make for some interesting characters.
Not sure if I ever actually did that.
Probably not. It was one of the most common house rules was to throw that right out the window
and go with the 46 thing, which
pretty
is
much
just about every edition afterwards.
I'm going to start with I'm going to go for just a straight up human, I think.
Okay, I'm going to go with half elf.
Well, I was going to go with a human as well.
1 foot in 2 worlds, belonging to neither.
Oh, half elf?
Yeah.
But I was going to go with the variant human.
Okay, that's the
one where you get 2 different ability score increases.
You get the feat and all of that. Yeah, I'll do that as well, I think. Basically there's 2 different ways of building a human, depending on how complicated you want your game to be. There's the stock one, which is just +1 to everything, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah.
And then the variant one is for games that have a little bit more complexity. You get an extra skill proficiency, you get a feat, and instead of +1 to everything, you get plus
Plus one.
2 to 2 things, right?
Yep.
Dex and wisdom.
All right. Well,
Figure out skills and feats and all that fun stuff later.
Okay. I'm looking at variants on the half elf, and it looks like a few of them will basically switch out skill versatility for some interesting goodies. I'm going to grab Drow Magic because
After hour.
I'm sorry.
After hour.
Why not?
Sure.
Why not?
technically, those aren't
Only half as cliched as full drow.
What?
It's only half as cliched as a full drow.
Oh, okay.
Last time we played with the Drow in the party, I believe Austin was trying to play a good one.
Yeah.
That
I will point out that the half elf variants aren't in the main rule book.
That's fine. It's all good.
Just in case anybody listens to this and goes looking for it.
Oh, no, that's actually an excellent point. You make an excellent point.
yeah, this one is also being used doing Hero Lab.
All right. So,
Yeah, I just disabled all of the bells and whistles, so I'm just running off the player's handbook myself.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, if you'd rather I do that, I can go switch it out. That's not that.
No,
difficult.
actually, I think it's good in a way in that it does show what some of the other things make available.
Yeah. There's a couple other races that get some variants and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you definitely get more variants at the very least. I think there's only the 2 elf variants in the main rulebook, but I think once you add in some of the other things, you end up with like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Well, the tieflings get a mix and match variant.
No, that should be entertaining.
Yeah.
Are you updated?
I'm clicking every option possible.
Oh, right. He's still turning off all his settings. So, Ben, you're working off of the SRD, if I recall correctly?
So the only thing I have available is the basic rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're calling it basic rules now. Used to call it an SRD, system rules document.
Right.
So you're going to have even more limitations. That's got a
you
lot
only
less
have-
than the main rule book. I think you've only got like 4 classes and only a handful of races.
I thought it basically just limited the backgrounds.
It's 1 background, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. You get the acolyte.
I think you only get the 4 core classes of fighter, thief, cleric, and mage.
Yep.
And I think it restricts the races a little bit.
The sub races are not as broadly described.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, this is what happens when you don't keep up with your addictions.
Yeah.
Hey, I can admit it for what it is. I'm totally in control. I can stop anytime I want.
But why would you want to? Skills, feats, warlocks, spells. Okay. The way Hero Lab goes, race, class, then abilities, playing with the point by.
Yeah, I think they did that because of the character design philosophy, especially in 5th edition, is a lot different than it was in earlier ones where, like I said, you would start off with your abilities and then pray to God you got something you could work with.
Yeah.
Whereas now you can really say, okay, I want to do, a half human chef from Antares who specializes in hot cuisine, or and then build stats that make that possible. Or
I am
not.
the god of cookery.
Maybe you want the fighter with an 11 strength for some reason.
You can actually make a good next fighter.
In 4E, I had a paladin with a low strength, but that was the Eladrin were all charisma based, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I remember in 2nd edition, I built a character that had spent almost every weapon proficiency. He was a fighter. Almost every weapon proficiency he got in mastering the longsword, and would not touch one to save his life. He couldn't bring himself to do it because part of his backstory was that he was the chosen student, the prize student of a stable master whose rival couldn't strike at the stable master because of politics, so he basically took my character out, beat him within an inch of his life, and then blinded him. So now he uses a quarterstaff. He can't bring himself to touch the longsword anymore. So I burned a ton of options that never got touched in game. So I mean, there's reasons for doing that kind of thing.
Okay. Limitation
Character
on
background.
Hero Lab is you can't get up to an 18.
No.
I am topped out at 17 for charisma.
Wait, are you doing the point buy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah. Oh, you're okay. Yeah. You. The point buy goes at max of 15.
And then you've got a +2 probably from your half elf.
Yeah.
+2 for half elf, +1 for two of the others. I took Dex and Wisdom on that.
Yeah. Yeah. The point buy they maxed out the point buy at 15 for this edition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a way. I mean, there's a way you can tweak it, and there's adjustments you can do if you really want to. But
well, or you could just do the 46.
Yeah, I could.
The point buy and the standard array are more for making everybody's characters fairly even in power.
Mm-hmm. So, alignment. Okay, half drow. I'm going neutral evil.
Yeah.
That linergy.
Or maybe chaotic neutral.
All right. Now we're going to do a rundown of what we said our stats were.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm ready whenever anyone else is.
Yeah, I've got at least that done.
All right. I went with. Sorry, my desk is attacking me. Disloyal furniture is so annoying. Just take care of that. There we go. I ended up with a pretty decent array. I ended up choosing an 11. I did, like I said, the standard character creation method for 5th edition is roll 46, drop the lowest, do that 6 times, and assign them wherever you feel like. So I went with an 11 strength, a dexterity of 17, constitution of 11, intelligence of 8, wisdom of 15, and a charisma of 9. And why did that not work?
All right. I started with the standard array, which is you get 6 stats, a 15, a 14, a 13, a 12, a 10, and an 8, which is decent array. I put a 15 into strength. I put a 14 into constitution. I put a 13 into the dex and added 1 for my being human for a total of 14 into dexterity.
Yeah, my roll. The numbers I gave were unmodified. I added a dexterity and wisdom point for being human. Sorry. Continue.
I forgot to add one of the +1s, so I have a 16 strength.
Yeah.
And I had a 10 intelligence, a 12 wisdom, and an 8 charisma, because barbarian don't need articulation to be articulate. I'm sorry.
Apparently, you're going to be very good at that.
Yeah. I learned from you, Rob. I learned everything from you.
I are good with word.
Okay, so what I've got here, strength is my dump stat. I gave that an 8. Dexterity has a +1, and with playing around with the point buy, I've got a dex of 14. Con of 14, that's unmodified. Intelligence of 10. Wisdom of 13, which is also modified with a +1, and charisma, which came with a racial bonus of +2, is up to 17.
Nice.
Josh still updating?
Yep, I'm done updating.
Still catching up a little bit, though. It looks like.
You know what I did not do is look up names.
Oh. You're going to name your character before he's
Always
done?
name my characters.
All right. I think I should. Let's see. I get a skill and a feat. Okay, what skill should I grab here? I don't need. I'm gonna grab perception. Everybody needs perception.
What?
And my feet. Where's the name of the feet?
Okay. Background.
I think it's Barroom Brawler.
I don't know if we mentioned it. For class, I'm going with a monk.
Oh, 5e monks are fun.
If Austin ever brings back his campaign in 5e, we'll get to find out if they're as fun as they were in 4e.
Okay, I'm looking at backgrounds now. I wish there were more backgrounds in Hero Lab. I'm thinking of Charlatan.
Charlatan, huh?
We haven't heard from Ben and Josh.
That's true.
Yep.
Gosh, what are you thinking?
I'm making a half-orc cleric who's a hermit.
Nice.
Can anybody else hear Josh from his mic?
Sounds like he was talking from way across the room into Rob's mic.
It's a little quiet.
Might want to turn your mic up.
Mike.
Let's see if I can do that.
He's trying to figure out if he can turn his mic up. I don't think mine is picking up on him. I've got it set to, I can't think of the mode, but it's very one directional.
And for character, I was thinking along the lines of a human wizard.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, break the tradition of high elf wizards. Probably should warn you, Ben. Rob and Rich and Josh have heard me bitch about racial pigeonholing of race and class for years.
Well, the worst was 40 for that.
It was a little
He
hard.
really wanted you to play a human.
Well, I would say that 4E had a very specific combination of the two, of race and class in mind whenever you would build those. I'm going to go for spy.
Oh. Going for the spy, huh?
And I'm going to go lawful neutral.
Mmm.
That makes monkish sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with a variant of the entertainer background called the Gladiator.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Admittedly, with my low charisma, that's not great, but hey. All right, let's see. I get acrobatics and performance. We're not really explaining what we're doing here.
Not like it matters.
Now, the Hero Lab background for Charlatan gives me proficiency in deception and sleight of hand, tool proficiencies with a disguise kit and a forgery kit, additional equipment, fine clothes, the disguise kit, tools of the con of your choice, weighted dice, mark cards, signet ring, plus money. I'm not going to worry about personality traits at the moment. I tend to do those when I know a little bit a little bit more about the world I'm going to be playing in.
That's a good. That's definitely a good one. I'm going nuts and going random. So for personality traits, I have rolled. I would prefer to make new friends than a new enemy, and it takes a lot for me to trust. It's a slow process. Anyone that seems too good to be true has something to hide. So this is possibly the most conflicted spy monk ever. Believes very strongly in charity. He steals from the wealthy so that he can help those less fortunate. He's Robin Hood, the spy thief monk. Something important was taken to me, and I'm trying to steal it back. And it's easy to tell when I'm lying, as my face gives it away. I have no poker face, apparently.
Yeah, you sound like a bad.
Ooh, I think I'm going to take the marked cards.
There you go.
And this is why it's fun to do this in a group.
Yes.
Well, me as a gladiator, I get the skills, acrobatics, and performance. I get tool proficiency, disguise kit. Don't know why. And one type of musical instrument. I took drum.
That must be because they're. My only guess is because it's of the entertainment.
Yeah.
And they didn't think.
Well, technically, you can change that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's rules in the book for changing up the backgrounds. I get for equipment a musical instrument, a drum, a favor from an admirer, a costume, and a pouch containing 15 gold pieces. Woohoo!
Money, 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 money.
Money, money, money. I also get the feature by popular demand. And as a gladiator, I can use that to find a place to perform any place that features combat for entertainment, aka I can find a place to do a brawl for money. Which goes with my barbarian. All right, so personality traits here. Let's roll, see what I get. So I'm supposed to have 2 personality traits.
Yeah, I'll get the dice for those since I'm not going to.
5 and 2. Okay, so apparently whenever I come to a new place, I collect local rumors and spread gossip. And I love a good insult even when directed at me. Well, that sounds about right. And, okay, my ideal is people. I like to see the smiles of people's faces when I perform. Okay.
Are you not entertained?
Exactly. Except in a happy voice. And as my bond,
He's the one that picked Gladiator. At some point or another, I had to quote Gladiator.
Yeah.
Rule.
I idolize a hero of the old tales and measure my deeds against that person's. And my flaw is, I would do anything to win fame and renown. Okay. That's how I do Gladiator to me.
Goes really well with the Gladiator.
It does. I like the idea that maybe you idolize some other really famous gladiator.
Yes.
Okay, rolling personality traits.
Woo!
And I end up with holy symbols. The gods protect me, which is kind of weird for a warlock.
Hey, sometimes you need bad people to do good things.
Oh, yeah. There is that. Actually, no. Actually, I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong thing. Apparently, I'm a pathological liar. Or am I?
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
And the other one, I kid you not, is sarcasm.
I don't know. I don't know if you can pull that one off.
You're pathologically lying sarcastically?
I don't know if you can pull that off, Kate.
I think we're okay. Ideals. Okay. What do we have here for ideals? I rolled a 4. Creativity. I stay on top of my game by ensuring I never run the same con twice. That fits with a chaotic alignment. Bonds. Oh, there's a lot of these. I've used missing childhood friends.
Yeah, I think bonds are roughly similar to another game's mechanic. Feng Shui had what was called the dramatic hook.
Hmm.
Since Feng Shui is all about action movies, everybody had to have a dramatic hook, which is basically the reason you're in the film. And so I think bonds are supposed to be this. It's something that your GM is supposed to be able to take, and that will hopefully pull you into the adventure. So, like, I'm attempting to steal back something. Well, that MacGuffin is now in the hands of the villain from the adventure that, whoever our mythological GM is.
Hmm. Yeah, it looks like one of the books that got added, but with the community stuff, is something called "In the Horde of the Dragon Queen."
Yeah,
And this has dramatic hooks for everybody in here.
yeah. That was the first of the adventures they released. That was, I think that was Green Ronin, maybe.
Hmm?
I think Green Ronin wrote that one. They wrote one of them. I forget if it was that one or if that might have been Princes of the Apocalypse. Yeah, Horde might have actually been Frog God Games, a company near and dear to Joshua's heart.
Figure.
Oh, here we go. Here's a bond. Recurring dreams. You constantly dream of finding a lost library or forgotten knowledge hidden deep in the Underdark.
Nice.
But the problem is, during being only half drow, I might not be allowed there. Some people get really bitchy about things like that.
Bunch of racists.
I know. Flaws. Roll a d6.
Bro, come on. Isn't that a racial flaw? They're racists.
I just rolled up. I am confident in both my ability to fool others and in my faith that I can, and in my faith that I cannot be fooled.
Mm.
No hubris going on here. Nope.
As long as you're not fooling yourself.
And I have favorite schemes. Sleight of hand. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to do, 3-card Monte thing. Yeah, actually, we'll go with the sleight of hand.
Well, that would also include lifts. Bump and lift. I
Mm-hmm.
would assume would be a sleight of hand. I don't know what the other options are. So maybe
There's only 6. And now I get to choose an otherworldly patron.
Oh, yes.
No, these are cool. I mean, it's a little different than the packs they had in 4E.
Yeah.
I've got Archfey, Fiend, a Great Old One, and the Undying. The Undying is tempting because that's basically bonding with someone who has cheated death.
And once again, that's not in the base rulebook.
Just for reference, yeah, that comes out of Sword Coast Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I would have guessed Eberron.
Well, they don't have an Eberron book, so.
Yeah, that's true, actually. You make an excellent point.
Yeah,
Dude,
Great Old One.
Right, are you okay?
Fiend, yeah, Great Old One, Fiend, and Archfey are in the PHB.
Yeah, no, I was going to guess that because in Eberron they have the ruling class of the elves is the Undying, and it's basically elves that have gone undead.
Yeah.
So that they can continue to rule the kingdom. Only less malevolent than it sounds.
Well, I think they're technically like lawful neutral.
No, they could be. I read one trilogy of books, and Wizards decided that was the worst of the lot. But from what I could tell, it was better than any of the other ones I read. Poor Rich.
All right. So.
Cat?
I'm going to go with the Great Old One, I think. I don't know. Archfey looks really good, too.
I don't know. I never really liked the Archfey.
6th level, there's that Misty Escape, which comes in very handy.
Comes in handy, yeah.
They can be fun. They're, that's the trickster warlock sort of thing.
Yeah. The Undying is a fun warlock.
Yeah, that is really appealing. Yeah, let's go with the Undying.
Because you get some heal ability, or at least preventing people from dying ability.
Spare the Dying cantrip.
Yep. You get things for using it.
Yeah, advantage on saving throws against disease. If an undead targets you directly with a harmful spell or attack, it must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell DC, or it must choose a new target or forfeit targeting someone instead of you. If it succeeds or you target it with an attack or a harmful spell, it is immune to this effect for 24 hours. Okay. Spells. I thought I was supposed to get certain spells with the background. Hang on. No, not with the background.
No, not with your background, but you're at what is it? Yeah, I'm looking right at it. Right there. No, I don't see it. Where is it? At some point, you pick a subclass, your specialty within the class, and that should give you specific things.
Okay.
What, with the warlock? Or just in general? That's just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah, most classes it's
Second or third
level.
Yeah.
Cleric, and I think warlocks it's first.
Yeah.
Mages it's I think second.
Tool proficiency.
And I think sorcerers are first too.
Okay.
Maybe it's cleric. Is it cleric second? No, cleric's definitely first.
Conjuration. Ooh, Deep in Shadows. That sounds like fun.
All right, let's see.
One thing I do like is the concept of retrading, because you can start out with something really nifty and then realize it has absolutely no use in the campaign you're on.
Yep. I'm going to specialize in killing goblins. Never see a single goblin.
Exactly my point.
And then you run train out of it, and then you see all sorts of goblins. Okay. Let's play some survival.
Anything I can really do phone that much right now. Control room I don't have access to hang out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like Joshua can't do much about his microphone right at this moment.
Too bad.
Let's see, I am a monk. I get 2 skill proficiencies and 1 tool proficiency. So I'm going for calligrapher supplies. And then for my skills, let's see, I got stealth and deception, I think it was, from my background, and monks. And then I chose investigation for my human bonus. So I'm going to go with, let's see, he's sort of the more spy monk. So I'm going to go with insight and athletics. Occasionally he needs to chase somebody down, it sounds like. Yep. Awesome.
Having trouble with cantrips. I don't usually play, I don't know, it's like I've played a fabulous sorceress, but I am terrible sometimes at picking spells. Oh, Eldritch Blast. Hello, I'm a warlock. Sorry, I'm fine now.
No problem. I get 10 darts and a short sword or a simple weapon. Why did you do that, stupid program? I'll fix that in a second.
Okay, I get 2 spells. Although I only have 1 slot.
All right.
Witch Bolt.
Yep. Okay.
That's interesting. And it's basically sustained damage if you don't do anything else.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
fun. I like that one.
Am I forgetting anything? Yep. Got all my equipment and my background and.
Something I want to get a look at some point, because Hero Lab uses it, is the not really complete Tome of Spells. Hellish Rebuke or Hex?
Hex. Hex lasts an hour.
Anyone else have some thoughts?
I'm not overtly familiar with either of them.
Hellish Rebuke is
Actually played with
I
Laura.
smack somebody who hit me. Hex is I hex somebody I'm attacking and do an extra, was it D6 or something like that?
Hex, you basically place a curse on the creature anywhere within 90 feet, and you do an extra 1d6 whenever you hit it with an attack going on. There's actually
they
no
have-
damage on the there's no damage when you on the turn where you cast the spell. They also, and you can choose one ability when you cast the spell, and the target has disadvantage on ability checks with that particular one. Hellish Rebuke is a reaction, and basically if somebody damaged you, they will be surrounded by flames, and if they fail a dex saving throw, they take 2d10 fire damage.
Yeah. The thing with Hex is it's got a sustain of an hour. So if you kill the thing you had hexed, you can hex another creature as long as you continue to sustain it.
That's pretty useful.
Yeah. Not that Hellish Rebuke is a waste of time. It's just
No, it's not. It's not. Then there's, and then there's also the classic Expeditious Retreat.
run away.
Everyone's got it sometime. All right. I'll go with Hex. All right. Ah, there we go. The spell, I got the Spare the Dying spell that showed up at a different tab.
Yeah.
On Hero Lab.
Yep. Pretty nice.
So I can do dancing lights at will, and I've got spare the dying.
Mm-hmm.
If I haven't used my one spell slot. God, I hate first level.
Yeah.
Well, you're a warlock. I think at 20th you get a total of 6.
Yeah, warlocks don't get a lot, but they get a lot of features.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The wizard is the one that wizards. You go wizard if you want just massive amounts of spell choices. Sorcerer, warlock, bard to an extent if you want limited choices, but a lot more nifty things to do
Mhm.
or ways to manipulate set spells.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The sorcerer has lots of interesting ways to manipulate the spells.
Especially, it becomes very entertaining when you do something like what I'm doing with Lucian, which is take favorite soul.
Mm.
I'm a sorcerer with cleric spells. Fear me.
Technically, she's a sorcerer with cleric spells. Spare the dying.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. So disguise kit, forgery kit. I actually have, coming with the charlatan background, I have an alternate identity with documentation to back it up, with contacts and disguises and things.
I think she's turning into a better spy than you are.
That could very well be.
Actually, out of one of the other books, I think there's actually. Oh no, wait, that's a class variant for the rogue.
The arcane trickster.
No, there's a like a master spy or something like that for the rogue out of Sword Coast.
Oh, okay.
It's very much a support character.
Yeah, I can see that. You always have what happened in Gloria's game, where 2 of her players turned out to be better spies than the master spy of the kingdom they were in. Kept trying to hire us. We started having we would walk in the room and say, "First, no, we're not looking for employment." But then we found something.
Mm.
Are you eating intentionally or?
Oh, no, really, yeah.
What? Oh, okay, yeah.
Done. Warlock
So I'm hunting for names.
for names. Oh, I need a proper gladiator name. Spartacus. No.
Please.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
We're all Spartacus, and so is my wife.
I'm Brian, and so is my wife. All right, Joshua has muted himself because his microphone, he can't adjust it as of right now. Is there anything you wanted to mention that you were doing? He's just
Priest.
making his orc priest. What domain did you take? Do you get to choose that yet?
War.
Shockingly enough, his orc priest is a priest of war.
Really?
I know this is going to come as quite the shock.
Amazing.
Hey, is he chaotic evil?
I almost really want to make the orc priest of the god of pacifists right now.
Oh, well,
That
you
would be
you
entertaining.
would get along with my kobold paladin of what is it? The can't remember her name. The peace god out of
Forgotten Realms.
Forgotten Realms. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not a really good
I know who
paladin.
you're talking about. I can't remember. Oh, that's right. All the Forgotten Realms gods are in Hero Lab.
Yeah,
Dun dun dun.
she's like a god of the woodlands and peace of some sort.
Woodlands in Peace. It's not Maleki.
No, she's a minor god of some sort.
Bob Ross. You're a horrible person, Pete. That's why I love you.
All right. My hero's name is Crixus.
Chante, maybe? Agriculture, nope.
My hero's name is Crixus. Yeah, I said that.
Illusion. Lyric Joy.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely not Loviatar. That's Pain.
Yeah, I said that.
Eldath. Oh, okay. Eldath, he said. Okay, definitely not Loviatar. That's Pain. I hear myself. That's quite the delay.
Yeah.
Echo.
Okay, Eldath.
Yeah, I think that's Eldath.
I hear myself.
Yeah, I had a delay of like nearly a minute. Yeah, I think that's Eldath. Yeah, Eldath. That sounds right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a delay of like nearly a minute. Yeah, I think that's Eldath. Yeah, Eldath. That sounds right.
Oh, something really messed up going on.
Seriously.
Hmm.
So just out of curiosity, how much effort do you guys put in for names? Because I tend to go kind of crazy looking until I find just the right one.
I have a weird-ish system. I sort of pick a starting letter and then just start making noises until I get what I think it sounds like a good name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's no joke. That's how Aislinn got his name. It was so like, I want an A, Ace, you know, and then I would just go through a bunch of different, you know, phonetics until I found something that sounded good.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, somehow ends up almost always sounding Celtic in some fashion. Lord only knows.
Got a lot of consonants.
Sometimes.
It depends on how much I care. Sometimes I spend hours searching for a name. Sometimes it's like, oh, click. Okay, that looks good.
Well, I mean, there's that. There's truth to that. Sometimes your character sort of names itself. I mean, I'm sure
Yep.
you've run across this, Kate. You know, sometimes the character names itself. Sometimes you got to pry it out of them like pulling teeth at a dentist's office.
Yeah, actually, it was in one of the novels I wrote. It was just was right. I need a bodyguard. Oh, what the hell? Let's have a female bodyguard. And out of my head, fully formed, came Gina Bertolucci.
Nice.
Well, the classics for me would be Tarragon, which took me forever. And then what, Crawl? Crawl, I think I just looked in the book and chose one. Everybody must fear Crawl.
I'm going to go with Ekaterina. I'm working my way through the alphabet. Actually, this is my second run through the alphabet, but since we're not going to play this, I'm going to use an E.
Oh, you're not going to...
I'm using an E character in Shadowrun. It's like all my Kingdom Death characters begin with D because we're recycling them so much.
Yeah, that's sort of what happens there.
We haven't played that in a while.
Pete, you're evil. Pete keeps sending me gifts over the Discord. And they're excellent gifts. Everyone who is not on the Discord should go there so that they can see these great gifts. I'm going with Marcus Moore. I think that sounds vaguely spyish. Why not?
Well, I'm pretty much done with my character.
Now he's sharing his screen so we can all enjoy them.
Except they're too small. I can't read it.
Should There's a
Is that Cthulhu?
looks like Cthulhu. If you click on the upper left-hand corner of his icon, it'll pop up.
Ah. And then my screen still, I can't read the bottom because all these people's things are on it. Oh, there we go. I can zoom out. Oh, who ordered the TPK? yeah, that would be that.
Yep. Just remember, in Call of Cthulhu, the longevity of your character has nothing to do with their strength or constitution or hit points. It has to do with their movement speed. The faster you can run, the longer you'll live.
I actually have an official sanity counter.
Oh, nice. I scared the crap out of a Call of Cthulhu GM at ConCon one year. He brought us in, hands us out characters. I got dragged into the game at the last second because they needed an extra player. So I get dragged in, and he hands it to me. And I look it over for a little while, and I look up at him and I go, "Can I add equipment to this? Do you mind?" And he gets this really wary look, like this, oh, God, what am I dealing with? This idiot's going to ask for like a rocket launcher or something. And he goes, maybe. What do you want? He says, well, it says here I'm a horror author. Can I have copies of my books? And you should see all of the stress wash out of him. He's like, sure.
Well.
And then I spent the rest of the adventure, every time we would go into a library, seeding it with a couple of copies of my books. And he goes, you do know you need to sell those, right? And I said, yes, but if there's only one or two of my books, then they'll have to buy the rest. That's what we'll have to do eventually, is Call of Cthulhu characters.
Well, I don't have anything for call.
We can get that. That's not a problem. I've got the books.
Yeah. Rob, do you have a website or FTP site where you're letting people, anyone who listens to this, download the characters we put together?
Not yet. I was thinking about that because the first one we did was those L5R beta. So that was all by hand.
Mm-hmm.
So we really didn't post those. But since we've got a bunch of Hero Lab users here, we can put them up. And I was thinking maybe, at least for now, the Team Late Night forums could do that. And I'll post a link on it when I post this elsewhere to tell people that it's up. It takes a little while for YouTube to get it, so I probably won't advertise its presence until tomorrow or maybe Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Discord is awesome. I'm thinking we might end up eventually moving over to Discord instead of the Hangouts. Because it gives me a lot more control over the audio. So I can hopefully compensate for certain people with bad mics, whom I won't, Joshua, name.
My work works fine in Roll20.
I think I have to turn you up in that, but I could be wrong. Do you have to turn Joshua up when we're on Roll20? Oh, we just lost Richard.
Oh boy.
No, I've never adjusted any of y'all's volume on Roll20.
All right, maybe it's just this. Google Drive would be a good choice also, yeah. Because I was thinking Hero Lab has an option of exporting to what do you call it? PHP BB code, I think it's called. So you basically get it pre-formatted to a message board. But we could save them as PDFs because it does that also, and post them, like you said, to a Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
That's Pete in the chat, just in case anyone's curious, who's listening to this is curious and trying to figure out why I'm having a conversation with no one.
Oh, no, we got it. I'm surprised we're not seeing anything from Josh in the chat.
Josh can't do two things at once. It taxes him. This is the best part. He can't comment on any of this. His mic is down. I love it. So much fun. You can
You'll
just
pay for it later.
across the room.
I am sure you'll pay for it later.
I like- Hey, look, Richard's back.
Yeah. Old place don't have the as good connection as I normally do.
You're not at home?
And then suddenly this happens.
Vacated it.
That's awesome, Pete.
You guys hear me this time?
I can, yeah.
Womp womp.
You need a Pookie gif.
6. Vest.
Hey, how the hell are you?
Wait,
So
do they
I'm
need a
trying,
space?
yeah, there's a space right there. So I'm trying to follow along with you guys. I don't have Hero Labs. I can't see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm jealous a little bit.
Now, we're not sharing screen. Can we share screens on Hangouts?
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a.
Well, I'm doing pen and paper, so.
Mute my turn camera on. Adjust bandwidth settings.
Over on in the Hangouts on the
There we
left.
go.
There you go. Hey, check you out.
Application
There you
window. Hero Lab.
Nice, Rob.
Let's take a look. Okay, so here's Hero Lab. And going left to right, started with Race of Half Elf, took a variant trait instead of a versatility feature of the Half Elf. So 1 extra language, I took Infernal. Got 2 ability score increases of +1, plus Half Elves get +2 for Charisma. Warlock, no subcategories available at this time. This was the point buy was discussing, and unfortunately, the way Hero Lab is configured, the point buy will only get you up to 17 at any given time, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Charlotte's
One of the reasons I
background.
don't like that is because you can't do that.
Charlatan background, and these are pretty good as far as showing you what you've got. So, 2 skill proficiencies, tool proficiencies, plus the equipment. Now, bear in mind, what's here in Hero Lab for 5e is completely and totally unofficial. So there are people who have been putting this together just to have this together.
Yeah, what you can get is the basic rules, which are very limited, unfortunately. And then it'll let you. As she said, there's a community pack that you can download separately. That's officially unofficial or unofficially official, depending on how you look at it. And that adds in just a ton of stuff. Like you've got, where's my mouse? There we are. Just a slew of extra pantheons. You've got the Forgotten Realms and Greyhawk and Dragonlance, elves, dwarves, gnomes, oh my, Celtic, Egyptian, Of course, there has to be Greek and Norse.
Wait a second, is this
Norse is a Norse, of course, of course.
So is Hero Lab only set up for one system, or does it play across?
No, it's set up for multiple systems. Actually, when I bought this one, it came with Shadowrun 4. I've since bought Shadowrun 5 and D&D 5e. Pathfinder is on it. I'd have to close and reopen to show you the rest of them, but there's almost a dozen different games.
Yeah, it's very modular. There's a bunch of game systems that they've already added, and the pricing scheme's up on their website, but it's not too bad. It gets kind of pricey for some of the really big game systems, like say Pathfinder. But some of the smaller ones are definitely very easy to work with.
Yeah, I just Lone Wolf Development. I just found them. I'm looking through their site right now. That's a big number.
Yeah. If you want to actually play Pathfinder with them and want to have a comprehensive library of stuff, you're gonna be dropping a chunk of change.
Yeah, well, the Pathfinder, it's like, we're going to put everything in one book. Yeah, and you could use it to stop a bullet.
There's bigger out there, sadly.
There are.
Traveler 5e.
I have not looked at a Traveler book since I was in high school, and that was more than a couple decades ago.
Yeah, Mark Miller got the rights back and did a 5th edition of it, kickstarted it. The head host of a podcast that I listen to, Happy Jacks, is a humongous Traveler fan. So he, I think, was probably one of the first backers for it. And when he finally got it, he was so disappointed because while Mark Miller did a great thing back in the 80s making Traveler, unfortunately his brain was kind of stuck there. So it's very old-minded, and it weighs about 4,000 pounds and can possibly hold up buildings.
This is good to know. Still sharing the screen. The Warlock spells when you're building. Something I like about Hero Lab is they have everything. It's like here in play, you've got your hit points, whether you do damage or whether you're healing, short rest, long rest, whether or not you're playing with your hit dice, hit points, whether inspiration is used, and spells. It'll say how many spell slots you use. It does not. I haven't played a wizard. I don't know if you're allowed to check off what you actually have memorized at the given time.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But the adjustments is also very convenient. I would mind something like this as a DM, just to keep track of who's what.
Yeah, I did that for the 5e Shadowrun game we were running. I used to load in all of your characters into one big file, and that way I could just keep bouncing between you and messing with your characters.
Yeah. Hero Lab also lets you keep a journal, so this is where you add XP, and this is where you add any money that you earned, and not really, and you can also keep notes, although it's not like you have any WYSIWYG features or anything like that. It's just flat text.
Huh.
And hang on, portfolio.
And once again, just for full disclosure, Hero Lab is not paying us to say any of this, but if they want to, we would definitely be willing.
We will not argue with that at all. I'm trying to remember how to view the character sheet.
You're on a Mac, if I recall correctly, so I'm not sure.
That's okay. I mean, I can always just print it to a PDF. That's not that big a deal.
You weird Macs. Use a PC like real people.
I like my Mac. I might have a few characters in here.
Apparently, I have not downloaded the PDF plugin for this yet. I just never got around to that.
I got mine shared.
Okay, then I will stop sharing for right now.
Well, we're all the whole bunch of people are sharing.
Well, I was sharing my desktop. Was everyone doing that?
No, I'm just sharing the application.
Several people were doing that. What it'll do is it replaces your icon or your camera with the desktop. So just like now, where when I'm talking, my icon comes up, it would have been my screen instead.
I actually need to buy gear here. And since we're going with the get the stuff from your class and background,
Yeah, 5e makes your life a lot easier that way.
yeah. Well, let's see. I was going to get a great sword and then sell it at 50% off. So that's 25 gold. 2 hand axes.
Okay. If you can see my screen, I've got the character sheet up. If that's easier than.
The character sheets aren't bad. They're very functional. Not, the prettiest I've ever seen, but they work pretty well.
There we go.
When I was playing 3.5, an organization put together something called the Only Sheet that is pretty good at tracking things, but it was not perfect. Unfortunately, it was pretty, had some great features to it. But one of my problems with 3.5 was always making sure I actually appropriately added my skill points, because I'm pretty sure I always shorted myself.
Yeah, there's a reason it's nicknamed Math Finder. Hey, it actually manages to beat out 4E for math. That's pretty darn impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I actually enjoy 4E, don't get me wrong, but holy crow, the math in that. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, they have found your thing there.
God bless the internet.
Yeah, you actually have to pay for that. I think I still have a license.
Oh, okay. So it's basically similar. It's a similar version to, or similar to Hero Lab, where it's creation and maintenance workbook.
It was a spreadsheet when I got it. Maybe they've maybe they've.
Yeah, Microsoft Excel.
Yep.
DOS Core does not function with other spreadsheet applications. Well, that's too bad because I don't use Excel.
What do you got, LibreOffice?
No, Open Office. Free, baby. Free.
Yeah, I got it. Same thing, different year. Got it.
I love my open source programs. I've got that. I've got, what's it called? Ink, I think.
Desktop publication. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. And a bunch of other ones. Basically, if I can find an open source version of it that actually works, I will happily use that. Especially since so many of these packages are so ridiculously expensive. You get the Adobe suite. Oh man, that's pricey.
Yeah, Adobe can have some of my money after I win the lottery.
That's right. Until then, I will happily use my open source programs.
I want to change my abilities here a bit.
You got everything set up, Joshua? You all set? Yeah. All right. I think everybody's finished, so I'm going to actually stop the broadcast. If you like, we can hang out and still talk. But this way we won't be recording.
Cool.
Wow.